All right, so this is Chris Elliott with RE/MAX Action Real Estate coming at you today with the Richmond Metro real estate market update for the month of February. So as we do always, I'm going to start you off with a couple stats. And with those stats, so we're always looking back to the month of January just because those are the numbers that we get. We get the previous month's numbers on the 15th of every month. So looking at January, closed sales, we had about 565 homes that closed. That was down from January of last year in 2018. Pending listings were 774 homes. Interesting enough, there was about the same amount of pending homes. So those are homes that went under contract that haven't closed yet. There was about the same number in the month of December that there were in the month of January. So the same amount of homes sold in December and January, just kind of an interesting thing, I thought. We had about 1,005 new listings that hit our market. The average list price in the Metro Richmond area in the month of January was $292,071. The average sales price was $288,244. So as you can see, sale price to list price is still pretty close. That put us at an average percent of list price to sale price at 98.77. Very, very strong if you're out there selling. That's good news. Average days on market creeped up a little bit from last year. We had 47.88, so let's call it 48 days on market. Still not terrible at all. End of month inventory was 1,719 homes. Those are the homes that were left on the market by the end of the month that were still active. And then month supply of inventory was 1.89 month supply of inventory. So still very much a red hot seller's market. We've talked about it in the past, but anything below 6 months supply of inventory is considered a seller's market. 6 months is neutral. So as you can see, at under 2 months supply of inventory, we're still very much in a seller's market. So what does this mean to you? As a seller, just know and understand that the market is already heating up. I'm having conversations every day and folks are like, hey, we're waiting for the spring market to hit. The spring market's already here. Whether, the weather's certainly not showing it, but we're seeing real estate, things start to pick up, things start to move. Especially, and I would say the lower third price points, under 300,000, man, those properties are selling like hotcakes. So if you're somebody that's waiting for the market to heat up, you may want to have a conversation with a real estate professional, hopefully myself, but you might want to get that ball started if that works for you and your plans, just because it's starting to get good. Now is also a great time to go ahead and list. I love getting clients on the market in February and March timeframes just because when you're listing this early in the year, you have an opportunity, you've got a little bit more margin for error. What I mean by that is if you want to be ambitious on your price, if you want to list above what we necessarily determine market value is, and you want to see if you can push the envelope a little bit, you can afford to do that this time of year because you can go 30, 60 days, which is plenty enough time to find out whether or not you've overshot yourself on price. And then if you need to make a price reduction, I'm shooting this video February the 18th. Let's say you went 2 months at an ambitious price and you had to make a price reduction. When you're making that price reduction, April the 18th or mid-April. So there's still plenty enough of the selling season to reduce your price if you have to and still get your property sold. Whereas if folks try that strategy in the summer and certainly in the fall, if you don't get your price right, you could very well be holding on to that property for another 6 months or so. So that's something to think about if you're somebody that wants to push the envelope a little bit on your price. And then, if you can't list now, if you don't want to list now, certainly now is a great time to sit down with a real estate professional, kind of, have a consultation, go through, hey, this is what can be done in the property to move the needle to help you out. That way you leave yourself plenty enough time. If you need to do any home improvements, any home repairs, you're not trying to get that stuff done in a week or 2 weeks before you list. You're starting the conversation early, so you leave yourself plenty enough time to get those things done and then to still hit the market at a great time of year. So that was for sellers. For buyers, what can we share with you? What does all this mean? Just know that if you were buying under 300,000 in most spots of Greater Richmond, you're going to be stepping into a very competitive market. So with that being said, you definitely want to have your pre-approvals ready. You definitely want to have all your ducks in order before you start going out and looking at homes. And just know if a nice looking home that's priced, relatively, good where it should be, that home's probably going to fly off the shelf pretty quick. So you're going to need to be you're going to need to be able to move quickly. I know sometimes that can be nerve-wracking for first-time home buyers or younger buyers, but just realize that's the reality of the market you're stepping into. So maybe sit down, have a conversation with your real estate professional. Maybe you can do a little prior market research so you can just get acclimated as far as to homes and prices from past sales before you start looking. So when you go out and start looking at active inventory, you're ready to pull the trigger and you're ready to go. We're also seeing that contingencies are not really working that well. Obviously, sometimes you have to, have a contingency because your home is, in the process of being sold, but we're not really seeing first right of refusals work. So what that means is if you're somebody that's looking to go out and buy, but you have to sell your property, as much as we all want to be able to buy before we sell, it's just, we're just not seeing it working. So you're really probably going to have to get your home listed on the market, get it sold before you can go out there and buy, if you have to sell in order to buy. And then what we've already talked about is acting quickly. If you're a buyer out there in the marketplace, especially in, like I said, the lower third of price points in our area, which is anything under 300,000, just know that it's a very competitive market and you're going to have to act quickly. So anyway, guys, that was your Richmond Metro market update for the month of February 2019. I hope that brought some value to you. Certainly, if you have any questions, just reply to this email, comment in the feed below. Let me know what I can do for you, and we look forward to seeing you next month.